Hey everybody, happy Monday. Hope you all are having a great week so far. Hope you had a great weekend. Already talking in chat, which I love, absolutely love that. Hey, Robert Tables, thank you for your help on the audio. Make sure I got my channels correct there. Much appreciated. Hey, Commie, appreciate you coming in as well. I saw Ronan52. Hey, Ronan52, how are you? Hope you're having a good Monday. And Michael Jolly. Hey, Michael Jolly. How did your stream go yesterday? I need to catch the VOD, but hopefully the girls had a great time interviewing Natalia. And Robert Tables, you have your particle shirt on. That's great. I don't. I have a Super Mario shirt on. That's what I have. I don't have my particle shirt on today. I'm a consultant. I don't have great weeks, or do you mean you don't have great weekends? Just got done. .com. We just got done watching the stream from yesterday. Oh, awesome! I'm excited to hear that y'all that it went so well. So I look forward to catching up. I actually want to watch that one with my kiddos. I want my boys to watch that. Robert Tables, you get weekends. Yeah, you can get weekends, right? I know how that is as a consultant. When you're not billing, you feel like you're not working, right? No, I totally get it. Ronan52, I see your question, and I would happily start by answering that. I will give you sort of the 50-cent version, and I will allow the other folks on the stream.com, Robert Tables, Michael Jolly, who have worked with Particle as well, to jump in as well. Full disclosure, I am employed by Particle. I run our developer advocacy program, so I am sort of party line employee. I have to give you my assessment of things, but the other folks here will actually give you their honest takes, and I will not be offended because they are not paid to say the things that they say. Particle is an IoT platform company, so we create hardware, tools, and services that are designed to make it easy to build connected products. So the hardware side of that, we build dev kits and modules for getting devices online, either Wi-Fi or cellular or mesh-based networking. Hey James, how you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. And .com, yes, and you get paid in socks. But hey, you get to keep the socks. I don't want the socks back. So if you express your opinion, no one's going to take the socks back from you. So Ronan, that's a big piece of it, is the hardware piece of it. So we sell dev kits that are, basically Adafruit Feather compatible dev kits for prototyping products. And then everything else beyond that is really using connectivity to allow things like easy over-the-air firmware updates, a device console for actually managing access to devices. So the web-based console gives you insight into what your devices are actually doing. You can send commands to devices, read values from devices as well. And Ronan, honestly, if you want to watch a couple of videos, I would highly recommend going to the Particle YouTube channel. There are a number of very brief videos that sort of walk through the basics of sort of what Particle is about. I'm going right to it because I want to find the actual playlist. But here, I'll just copy this link. That's one of the videos, but we've done a whole series of 101 videos that sort of walk through all the ins and outs of working with the Particle ecosystem, from getting new devices online to using things like publishing and subscribing messages between devices, to using the console to use functions and variables and things like that. So hopefully, Ronan, that's moderately helpful. And thank you for saying that's cool. But yeah, feel free to check it out. And let me know if you have any questions. I can answer any questions here if you have them. It's definitely why I do this. James, bit of a NAF work day, so glad to be home and chilling with the stream. Oh man, absolutely. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you're having a good Monday evening. And Doc, I'm glad you love the socks. I love the socks too. Those, I wear those socks all the time. They're fantastic. And thank you, .commie, for the shout out. There is also a Twitch channel. I should probably mention that. I did a stream on there on Friday, actually on sort of the ins and outs of our device OS, about an hour-long stream. So definitely feel free to check that out. The last hardware project I did was a motion-controlled flying drone. I miss it, so definitely have to take a look. Did you really, Ronan? That is awesome. What was the, what did you actually use to decode the gestures? I'm very curious, like what was your computer vision piece of that project? And then Robert Tables, it's really easy to get started. I started from complete scratch and it's immediate stuff on stream. Love for, thank you, Robert Tables. That's right. Yes. And Robert Tables has definitely done some stuff on his stream as well, as is Michael Jolly. So Ronan, if you want to see what these two gentlemen are doing, definitely follow them, because they have both worked with Particle recently on their streams. So if you want to see sort of the nitty-gritty ins and outs, I'm working with Particle today in the project that I'm working on, but they are as well, so definitely check that out. Yeah, Particle has infected several streamers. I love that. Lurking on a work call. No problem, Michael Jolly. You gotta, work calls are important. You gotta do that job thing, right? All right, so as we get started today, I do have a quick show and tell. I want to get through that. There's just a few things that I want to share, but I do have a couple of goodies. Is this upside down? Okay, goodies. All right, Ronan, I see your, let's see. No computer vision. I use this Mio band through a mobile device and a dev kit for the Iris drone. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna copy that link. I'm gonna check that out later. But Ronan, if your game, oh wow, a gesture control armband. Oh, Ronan, you may have just cost me money. Hold on, I gotta go back. Go back here. Have y'all? All right, the rest of y'all need to look at this. I'm pulling it over here. Ronan, one of the first things that you'll learn is it's very easy to distract me on this stream, and I love it. I love getting distracted. So don't apologize. And yeah, Robert Tables, these keyboards ain't gonna buy themselves. That's right. Oh my God, how have I never heard about this thing? A wearable presentation remote? Okay, so Ronan, so as a developer advocate, like I spend a whole lot of my time actually doing presentations. Hey, Frackberg. Hello. Thank you so much for the resub. Yo to you. That is great. Did we get fire? I think we got fire on the camera. Wait, no, that's secret. Frackberg, you triggered fire on the wall. Oh yeah, you're right. The bot is wrong, .commie. We got a bug. There's a bug in the bot, which is not surprising, seeing as how I wrote it. Should I turn the camera back on? And Robert Tables resub for 3 months. All right, y'all are, okay, this is going to be the stream of distractions today. It's because I have to make notes about this. Frackberg. Resubbed. For 3 months. Awesome. And Robert Tables as well. Thank you both so much. I was just thinking about all of you all. I always, on Sunday evenings and Mondays, I always think about sort of the stream for the next week. And I have really enjoyed getting to know all of you folks through through my streams, through your streams, through the interactions that we have with each other. And it just feels just like sort of a weekly hangout with people that you want to spend time with and hang out with, you know? Heck, I need to pay more attention. That's funny, Robert Tables. So the bot picked up that second one, and of course, object. Great, Brandon. Hey, I know, Frackberg, I think he's trolling you. I think Robert Tables is trolling you for sure. All right, Ronan, I will say for non-tech people, I've recommended the Myo Band too. It can have some difficulties with more advanced gestures. But for tech people, it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. Ronan52, you totally just made my day. Because this thing is, I mean, unfortunately, it looks like it's only available for third-party sellers, but I need the Myo Band. I absolutely have to have this thing. I want this right now. I must have this. Let's watch the video.
Speaking in front of people,
I can control a whole orchestra with this band.
Years of working at it. When you're practicing, it's the little things, the beats, the rhythm.
Oh my gosh.
You always want your presentation to be part of a conversation.
Oh my
It's difficult getting
gosh.
teenagers to concentrate, especially first thing in the morning. But I find that if I can focus on them, it helps them stay focused on me.
As soon as you lose eye contact, you lose that connection you worked
Y'all.
so hard to create.
Nervous anticipation hasn't gone away. It's just
Maybe y'all think I'm overreacting, but I am flipping blown away by this.
Couldn't imagine doing anything else.
This is my moment.
I hate
This is
holding
my
a
moment.
clicker. I've tried the whole like use my watch as the clicker, my Apple Watch as a clicker. That sucks. That's terrible. No, Robert Tables, I don't like the clicker. It's distracting because I'm a jazz hands kind of presenter. I love that. I gotta do the jazz hands. And when I hold this thing, it ends up becoming like I don't know, it constrains me, it restricts me. This is so great. Ronan, if you and I ever meet in person, I'm buying you a beer or 3. This is great. I'll be coming back to that. Okay. So I gotta go back. Robert Tables, I feel very close to people on my stream. The people who stream and just running into other people on other streams. Yeah, absolutely, Robert Tables. I think that sums it up really well. Hey, Grogard, happy Monday. Hope you're having a great day. And hope you had a great weekend. Welcome. I really like this. I'm gonna have to check this out. That's very cool. So gesture detection API, 9-axis IMU for orientation, which is what I use for positional awareness for the drone. Anyway, cool stuff. Okay, Ronan, did you do any write-ups on that drone? Like, is there anything online that I could read in Ogle? Because this project sounds amazing. And if you want to pick it back up, that would be so cool. Okay, y'all. We got to go to my show and tell. We went for Ronan's show and tell. Now it's time for my show and tell, which isn't nearly as cool, but that's okay. So I do have a couple of things that I want to show off today. One was I got the Azure Sphere MT3620 development kit. So I don't know if y'all are too familiar with the Azure Sphere. This is a product by Seed Studio in partnership with Microsoft. But the Azure Sphere, this is the actual Azure Sphere module. The rest of this is just the simple dev kit. But this was, Microsoft announced this several months ago, but this is basically just a little Linux-based secure real-time operating system that they have built for easier connection into Azure IoT Hub, IoT Central, all that good stuff. So I went ahead and got one of these kits because I want to mess with it, check it out a little bit. if you go to, I have the link for it. See if I can pull up the, yeah, it's a cool looking dev kit. Again, created by Seed Studio. And then I have a few more Grove sensors. If y'all have watched my stream before, you know that we do a lot of particle stuff with Grove sensors. So this is actually the particle argon with the Grove sensor baseboard, and then a bunch of different devices that are connected to it. So a lot of times when I'm playing with new things, I will just get new Grove sensors to mess with. And the two Grove sensors that I have to share today are a Grove alcohol sensor, right? It's an analog alcohol sensor that actually gives you alcohol concentration, what is it, between 20 and 1000 ppm. So you can, so we're gonna have to test this one out, right? There's gonna be some testing of this one. Maybe on stream. Maybe I'll have to stream a little bit later. I don't know if I should test an alcohol sensor at noon on a Monday. Nice, it's a Coors Light chip. That's right, Robert Tables. And then the other one is a Grove speech recognition sensor. So this is actually kind of an interesting, fascinating thing to me. This speech recognizer will actually recognize 22, it's pre-built to recognize 22 different commands, like start, stop, play music, things like that. So there actually is some little ML inference that's happening on this little bad boy. So I'm interested to play with that as well. So it would be kind of fun. Robert Tables, you volunteer as the max sample? Robert Tables, you would have to consume a whole lot of Coors Light to get a max sample on this kind of thing. Not to disparage Coors Light, but I have a couple of double and triple IPAs in my fridge that I could probably get to that max sample after like one or two, which would be really dangerous. Yeah, the speech chip is really cool. All right, here I will. Let me pull up the URL for both of these. So go to seed. I always remember that extra E. Grove speech recognizer. There it is. Challenge accepted, Robert Tables. Frackberg. Man, that reminds me, I still have beer left over from Memorial Day weekend. Frackberg, considering how your Memorial Day weekend went, have you is it beer that you haven't touched in the last couple of weeks that now you're sort of back to thinking, okay, maybe it's okay again? Your arm is healed. So you're getting back to that point. So this is it. Oh wait, I don't want to go robotshop.com. Here, let's go in the Seed Wiki. Seed Wiki, the Grove speech recognizer. All right, so the Grove speech recognizer, and what was the other one? The alcohol sensor. I knew y'all would appreciate. I knew y'all would appreciate both of these. Here's the alcohol sensor. I can understand. Yeah, it does get left over when your body forces you to recuperate. I've been there. So it is built, okay, so it uses a semiconductor alcohol sensor. Hold on. Y'all look at this. See if anyone else finds this sentence funny. It has good sensitivity and fast response to alcohol. So do I. So do I. Surly Dev, happy Monday. How are you? I have a bottle of beer in my fridge that's been there for about 2 months. I really don't drink all that often now. 2 months. There's a speech recognizer kit. Oh, I got to open that. Yeah, you feel me, Frackberg, definitely. Yes, and I am cheap date. Yes. Good sensitivity and fast response to alcohol. Oh, that's cool. So I wonder, oh, interesting. There's a whole kit. All right, what are the sensors in here? Okay, so there's like the Arduino style Grove shield. Uh-huh. And then what does this come with? Speech recognizer, so that's the same one. MP3, an RTC, a real-time clock to record the current time. Not strictly necessary. It's okay. Infrared receiver, infrared emitter. Okay. Oh, and a manual. That's cool. That's a cool little kit. For 25 bucks, that's not bad. I mean, Robert Tables, this sensor, this single speech recognizer sensor was like 11 bucks. So that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I mean, the challenge you would have, I don't know, Robert Tables, I think you have an Arduino Uno. If you wanted to use this with an Uno, that's pretty straightforward to work with. But really beyond that, I mean, to me, the money part here is the actual speech recognizer sensor. That'd be pretty darn cool to work with. Oh, here, I still have it open. Oh, that's the alcohol sensor. So here's an interesting project, and I didn't think about this until I got these two things together. But testing the sensitivity of the speech sensor with the alcohol sensor, right? Does the speech sensor become more inaccurate the more that one drinks? The more slurred one's speech becomes? Needs a field test. The drunk slur recognizer, right? Like, excuse me. Your blood alcohol content may be fine, sir, but the module can't recognize your basic commands anymore. It might be time to take a little break. Yeah, Robert Tables says you already have the Grove Shield. That's why I love these things. Grove sensors are so great. All right, so that's my show and tell. That's my show and tell. Oh, Ronan, you're right. I think there is a project. There is a project out there where someone used that to prevent sending drunk texts. They would like lock you out of your phone. There's another one, .com, he signs you out of GitHub. That's right. No commits. No commits. No CI builds. This is so great. Breathe into the breathalyzer before it will let you sign back into GitHub. Or Slack. Or your company Slack, for that matter. See? There are so many practical things that we could do with these sensors. So many practical things. I'm over here in another tab looking at this Myo gesture control armband. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. It looks so nice. Wonder if I could get it in time for my trip to Norway. Practical, Ronan. Ah, I see what you did there. Practical. That's great. Okay. Let's get to the main event. Let me actually turn you off there. Okay. Let's get back to the emotion mesh project and move some of this stuff out of the way. If you were here last week, you may recall that we actually did some soldering on Tuesday last week. Oh yeah, that actually turned out really well. Okay. So my next step was I was going to spend a few minutes talking about what I did last week, and this is basically it. You're looking at it. Hold on. Come here. We soldered up the argon and the two LEDs and the 12 volt step up converters. There's one on the bottom there. Where'd the other one go? Where's the other one mount? Oh yeah, on the top. And then the coral, the UART connection was soldered in the argon. It's all done. So the button box is actually assembled and working. Yeah, my wires are a hot mess. That's how it's supposed to look. This conveys a complicated machinery. This is a Rube Goldberg machine of functionality. I know the wires are a hot mess. I need to clean them up. Robert Tables, why are you trying to make me feel bad? It works, man. The thing is functional. Yes, it's a box. But this is where we got last week. We actually have the box working. It is assembled. Everything is functional. I don't know if you can tell right now, but the LEDs are actually, green and red are blinking back and forth. It looks a little bit better in a dark room. Oh, Frackberg. That's a sick burn, man. He's right, though, Frackberg. My wires are a hot mess. I will agree with that. Part of my problem, Robert Tables, is that when I actually assembled all of this, and this is what we did last week on stream, was mostly soldering all this together, was I tried to cut the wires relatively short, but I wasn't going to know how they were going to really, really look remounted until they got in there. But yes, I got to clean that up because the front of this box is going to stay open when I'm in Oslo, like when it's being demoed in a couple of weeks. Ronan, good ideas for... Oh, yeah. When all your good ideas are gone, it's time to actually get to the job, right? I understand. I understand. All right, I got to back up. Oh, AdaBox. No. But do you all have any idea what the AdaBox is going to be? Oh, man, y'all got me derailed again. That's okay. Let's do this. AdaBox. I have a guess. I have a suspicion what the AdaBox is going to be. But I don't know for a fact what it's going to be. I think it's actually going to be a Python-based, like portable game controller. Where is Adafruit's Twitter account? All right, come on. No, Frackberg, were you thinking the same thing? Oh, Ronan. Yeah, AdaBox. So it's a electronic subscription like service. Every 2 months they send you a new box of goodies. And some of the stuff that they've done is really awesome. Like a couple of months ago it was this thing, the Pi portal. Well, here, let me just put it on the big camera. A few months ago it was the Pi portal, which was this CircuitPython based ATSAMD 51 board that has a couple of cool connectors and a nice little touch screen on it, powered by CircuitPython. I've been subscribing to it for about the last year, and it just gets better and better every month. Every single month, it just gets better. But my guess is, given some of the stuff that the Adafruit Twitter account has been publishing, yeah, I think it's going to be like this. I think it's going to be something like this. Color TFT, buttons, controller, CircuitPython powered game device. That would be my guess. That would be my suspicion what it's going to be. Ronan. Yeah, it's a loot box for Ada. Yeah, Ada stuff. And yeah, Frackberg, I'm glad you signed up for it too. Hopefully I'm right, because it's going to be really neat. Hold on. Did I miss something? Oh, Robert Tables, I know, back to your comment about the light. No, the camera is... No, not that one. The camera is... It's a little off. It's because of the lighting in here. I have my overhead lights on because that's the only way that it works well with the green screen when I'm streaming. But as a result, the close-ups of what's going on here doesn't look as great. If I turn the lights off, it would show more red, but... All right. And yeah, Rowan, sorry I cost you money. Although, looking at the price of this Mayo, I think you may have cost me a little bit more. I don't know if I'm gonna have any money left to buy you those beers after all. Frackberg, these streamers have cost me a lot over the last few months. I'm sorry, y'all. It's hard, right? This hardware thing is an addiction of sorts, right? It's really, really hard. Once you start buying a bunch of stuff, you cannot stop. And it's not just like boards and sensors. It's also little things like screwdriver sets and organizing bins and literally everything. Solder, solid core wire or threaded wire, braided wire. Everything. But as a way to make up for that, I can always send you guys socks. You all can send you socks. All right, so we're going to talk about what we did last time. So I did actually solder the board up. That was what I just showed off. So we do have the board, the argon soldered to the Adafruit perma prototype board. Grogard, you do need some socks. Will you send me a message, whisper or something? I can't believe that I haven't sent you socks yet, but you do need to have some for sure. .com, so many microcontrollers in my office. Not mad about it. No, not at all. .com, even if they're ones that I never use, I'm still not mad about it because there's always hope. It's always something I was thinking about. Ronan, you should also send me a whisper message on Twitch or message me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is the same as my Twitch handle. Surly Dev, you too. All right, look, if you're watching this right now live, send me a direct message and I will send you socks. I will. Fetish Lace, thanks so much for the follow. Thanks for coming in and hanging out today. Hope you're having a good day. And Oida Bayer, thank you so much for the follow as well. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Oh, Surly Dev. Well, if you saw these socks. Yeah, Surly Dev, absolutely, even to the UK. Yes. And yes, the Oprah moment. You get socks and you get socks. Everybody look under your chair, wherever you're sitting right now. There's probably not socks there, but I will send you some if you want some. Just send me a message. The Michael Jolly, yeah, you'll probably, the Michael Jolly, I can send you socks in like February when it's cold for like 3 days in Alabama. If you want some then, that'd be fine. Otherwise, as soon as we get Particle branded flip-flops, then you're gonna be the first person that I'll talk to. Oh, good golly. All right, we gotta move on from this sock. It's like almost time for my first bio break and I haven't even stopped yet. Particle Crocs, yeah. That week of winter, that's right. All right, y'all know, open offer. Those of you that are here all the time, anybody new that hangs out, anybody I've said specifically, send me a message and I'll take care of your feet. I will take care of your feet. Okay, so the other thing we do, I did GrowGuard. This was actually your idea. I took care of this off stream, but I did actually update the Coral board to the latest version of Mendel because I needed to do that to move the serial connection. If you remember, we were actually having some issues with having to reset the serial connection. The UART1 was shared between the Linux OS and UART between the two devices, so I updated that last time as well. I fixed that. Now we're on UART 3. I'm auto-mounting the SD card. The SD card is where all of the images are saved after each detection run so that I can save those long time. Yeah, Grogard, I've got it going now on UART 3 so I don't have to mess with any of that stuff. So those are all the things that we did last week. Now comes the fun part because today what I'm actually going to do is spend some time doing some local. We're going to do some UI work with Vue. So we're still living the IoT life, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it with some Vue.js stuff today. So let me actually shell into my board, into the Google Coral. I have two separate. No. MBT. I have two. Oh, I'm already on this one. And I will run this again. DM, my feet are getting excited. Oh, Fetish Lights, hey, thanks for posting a message in chat as well. You're new, great. Happy to have you here. And what chips are you playing with? What have you been messing with these days? Michael Jolly, welcome stickers and t-shirts. Of course, naturally. Y'all are cracking me up. Yeah, did I already respond to that, Grogard? I did. Ooh, Surly Deb, you have Star Wars Crocs? Okay. That's pretty cool. I like Star Wars Crocs. All right. So let's actually set up my detection server. ESP8266, okay. I suspected that you might say that. It's a common one. What? Oh, no. I already have an error. We already have a bug to fix. Very nice. Okay. Detect server line 14, blah, 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 blah. Import streaming server. Oh, server pi line 58. Okay. Let's actually get back to that. So what I'm ultimately needing to do now, if y'all remember, and maybe don't, or you're new, so I'll go through it and talk about it again. This actual demo, what's happening here is if you go to the project page, the Emotion Mesh project, this is going to be an interactive demo that basically runs emotion detection on a webcam and a screen, outputs the result on a screen, and you'll trigger the demo by taking a photo from the webcam using one of these buttons, which will then use the Google Coral board connected here, this one right here, to actually infer what your predominant emotion is in that photo. And the buttons and everything else on the local network are being powered by the Argon. So there's going to be a mesh network that's doing all the fancy stuff here to power all that. But on the Coral itself, there's basically a server that runs the streaming result on the webcam, and then also will show the results on the screen. It'll do face tracking, and it does all the emotion detection stuff as well. So the server piece, the way the communication happens, and so what I started with a canned demo that was on the Coral, and I've been modifying it to add sort of my pieces of it. So the canned demo is a Python-based web server that uses WebSockets and protocol buffers to communicate between the client and the server. Python, still relatively new for me. WebSockets familiar with, protocol buffers have not ever worked with before. So there's been some learning things for me in this process of working with all of those different kinds of things. The way that protocol buffers work, if you haven't used them before, is that they're meant to be sort of a lightweight alternative to XML or JSON for communicating between systems. This is the way that they look. They look relatively similar to JSON objects. These are the protocol buffers that represent the server and client communication that happens on the device, on the Coral board here. So this is things like capturing an image. So I've already modified these to do the frame capture piece. And now what I'm working on is actually sending the detection result back to the client, right? So this is the server message. This is the message from the client to the server that says either start the webcam, start streaming, or capture a frame from the camera. And then on the other side, client friend, thanks so much for the follow. Or client, yeah, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and being here today. Feel free to keep on lurking. Feel free to drop a comment in chat if you want. Happy to have you either way. That's awesome. Let me go back. Okay. So thank y'all again for the kind comments about particle. Fed Slice, that's really cool. I'm interested to hear what you're working on specifically. If you've looked at the ESP32 as well, or if you're using the ESP8266 just for price or something along those lines. And yes, it's Python. Oh, Grogard, you already found my bug? Grogard, you're so great. I spelled return wrong? Of course I did. Oh, that's just the more terse. That's a terse return. All right. Thank you, Grogard, for keeping me on track as well. And Kleinfreund, good evening. Good evening to you as well. Yes, Robert Tables, it is Python. I'm trying to branch out. I'm trying to force myself to learn new things. I've been spending a lot of time in Python lately. Fetish Lace, better C skills will change more for me, I guess. ESPs are cheap to play with for a start. Lots of dev boards with it. Very true. Oh, Surly Dev. Okay. I trust you, Surly Dev, so I'm going to click on your Dropbox link. And hopefully... Alright, those are pretty cool. I like those Star Wars Crocs. Vader Star Wars Crocs are pretty boss. Thank you for sharing. I dig those. Those are really nice. Klein Freund. Yeah, I gotta call Ruby's implicit returns terse from now on, right? Hey, that's how I justify my mistakes. Oh, I was just trying to just be really, really terse, right? It's not a bug. It's just me trying to be efficient. All right, let me do this again. Run my detection server again. All right. Let me go back to the server. And this will... Okay. So this is above me here is the streaming camera. So this is, again, if you're seeing this for the first time, this face tracking stuff is actually running on the Coral board. It is running locally on this guy right here. In real time. There's nothing that's actually streaming to the cloud, nothing that's coming back. The bounding box, the percentage, all that stuff is actually happening in real time. And it's inferencing at about 130 frames per second, which is pretty darn ridiculous. So the way that the demo works is I will put my device yeah, Kleinford, you're right. JavaScript also does implicit returns. And that's that's the language I'm more used to, definitely, for sure. Yeah, Robert Tables, it's called ML at the edge, although that's a bit of a loaded term. It is ML. Yeah, the idea is that this is a single board computing device that could run anywhere. It's not a cloud-based demo, so you can actually do... And sort of the crux of my talk in NDC Oslo is this whole idea of building IoT systems that can allow edge machine learning, like inferencing, to actually take place in a more secure manner without having to rely on the cloud, yada, yada, yada. It's good fun. So let me open up the serial. I need to remember to open up the serial command on here too. Motion mesh, yep. There we go, serial, okay. All right, so the serial server is running, and now that I'm in capture mode, what I can do is snag a photo, snag a picture, and then wait for the thing to do its deal. All right, 96% surprised, 4% neutral. All right. So that was essentially the crux of the demo. At this point then, we're at the UI piece. So that demo, sort of the wiring between the devices actually works. The Argon is facilitating communication between the Coral and the rest of the mesh network. The Coral is doing the inferencing piece and delivering a result. And now what I want to work on today is what you're seeing in front of you. I want to work on the UI piece here to swap out the streaming view for the captured image. Because if you want to see what the captured image looks like, I'll show you. Where did I put it? I think this is going to be it. This should be my image from today. Okay, so that's the captured image that just got. Drew the bounding box. Not great. Maybe the green screen threw it off. And then draws the predominant emotion over the top there. What I want to do when this happens is actually take this image and drop it onto the screen instead of the streaming view, and then show the results. Because if you see here, there's actually an array of results of the 6 different emotions, and I want to show a pie chart or something that actually has all those things. So those are the pieces that I want to work on today. Yeah, thanks, Early Dev. I like it. I think it's actually working really well. Climb front. Let me jump back to chat real quick. I should complain about Ruby returning whatever is the last expression of body, so adding a logger statement at the end of a function does wildly unexpected things. Yes. I did some Ruby development way back when. I remember some of that. Yeah, absolutely. Robert Tables, you're right. You need a lot of this stuff at the edge. Security, I think, is one of the biggest reasons you want to do this. If you're looking at computer vision, for instance, it's really cool, this idea that I can actually do face tracking, emotion detection, whatever I need to do, and I'm not streaming any of this video up to the cloud, which means I can do the work that I need to do in a local environment, and I don't have to worry about PII. I don't have to worry about data that's being sent, that reveals something about me or a person in an area that I don't want to, right? I can do all that offline or do it in a more constrained environment and also save bandwidth at the same time. Definitely. Nice. Yeah. 5% gassy. That's funny, Michael Jolly. Yes, absolutely. Y'all are cracking me up. Oida Bear, how did you do the training of the neural network? Thank you so much for the question. I appreciate you asking that, and I will share with you. So there's 2 pieces here, 2 pieces to what's actually happening here. There is a pre-existing model that's loaded on the Coral that's doing this face tracking piece. And it's using its own, which one? Oh yeah, it's actually using MobileNet v2. So that's what's actually doing the face tracking piece. For the emotion detection stuff, I did 2 things. One is there's an Azure Face API that will give you sort of cloud-based results based on an image. And I have some of that baked in here. But I also created a separate model here. So inside of the project repo, there's a separate folder for the actual emotion model that I built for all of this. So it's based on a Kaggle dataset, the FIR 2013 Kaggle dataset. And it's effectively, if you want to really see, like the model architecture is kind of ridiculous. But it's basically a convolutional neural network that runs, I think, 6 primary layers. I can't remember what I did specifically. But it's basically a bunch of 2D convolutions and activations. And it uses data generation to expand the size of the image data generation, to expand the size of the data set that I trained. And the end result is about 66% accurate. It's right 2/3 of the time. One of the things that you'll observe with models like this is that, and you'll see this as we go through training, neutral is like sort of the model's way of saying, I don't know, right? Maybe it's this, but I don't know. So neutral is what I'm going to give you. You'll see that sometimes, but 2/3 results based on like actual like face data being converted into a handful of emotions is actually pretty darn cool. So hopefully, Oida Bayer, that answered your question. And hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I think I said that already, but... Surly Dev, that device that is bounding the face area, could it send that small segment of video to somewhere else, i.e. for my door monitor project? Absolutely, Surly Dev, it totally could. So if you look at the raw data that's actually coming in here, the bounding box is just a bunch of coordinates that are just being streamed down from the server to the client. So you could absolutely capture those coordinates and send them somewhere else, which is pretty darn cool. All right. So what I mentioned before, so you saw this. There's two things that we have on the server side when we're done streaming, when we're done actually processing an individual frame. We have the actual name of the image that was captured, and then this array. And that's what I actually want to pass back to the client. On the client side, this is very, very simple, sort of hacked together Vue.js application that's going to do a couple of different things. It has it has a method in here to actually capture the image and to do a reset. That's all stuff that we added several weeks ago. But the important thing here is that there's going to be some state that will actually show when the capture mode has changed, so that I can swap out the container. Right now this is just an HTML canvas that's showing the streaming result, and to swap that out for the actual image, right? So like right now, for instance, it's hard-coded to an image that I took a couple of weeks ago. So when I hit capture image, it does this. When I hit reset demo, it goes back to the stream. So the state pieces are there. I just want to, oh, thanks, so I'd appreciate that. So I want to actually make that happen automatically now through the socket message that's going to come back. So that's what's going to happen here. When a message has fired, or when the server is done, I want to send a detection result message back that has the path of the image and that array of the various different emotions. That's the piece that I want to work on now. So in my server.py, which is this giant file that I need to clean up. So I will say, anyone that is familiar with Python, and I know Grogard has been helping me a ton here the last couple of weeks, I am a Python noob. So I'm doing lots of things that are not Pythonic. I'm doing lots of things that are probably ill-advised. I don't care. I do care. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong and I'll clean those things up. Please, please definitely do. But there's gonna be a lot of things I'm doing that's just wrong. And I've made my peace with that. I have y'all to help me get better. But this is the meat of what happens when a frame is requested. I capture an individual frame. I'm performing some local and cloud-based detection based on that. And then I'm moving the result files around. These are the modified files that have the bounding box and the emotion name. And then the last piece here is actually sending this detection result. This is the piece that I want to implement today so that I can swap out the state and show some results on the UI. I have already added this to the protocol buffer. And I've already pulled in what I think is the right code to detect that here. So I want to see a console log when I'm actually getting a result from the server side. So, but this is the piece that I want to test now, is just this sending and detection result piece. So let me go to where I've implemented that. Right, so I'm gonna do a print here, just make sure this is actually being called correctly. Client Freund, I can delightfully tell you that I have only an infinitesimal amount of Python knowledge, so I'll just nod along here. Okay. That is all right, Client Freund. We can all do that. Still waiting for some sort of a response from me. All right. All right, so the server is listening. We capture an image. I want to make sure that I've wired this up correctly, so I want to see that I'm actually getting this print statement right here. Yes. So let's get a photo. I'm missing something. Right? No send message. Oh, I think I want... oh, this may be why it's not being called. Hey, Brand Satcher, did you know you can call particle functions from writing side particle workbench for VS Code? Yes, yes. Arbor tables, I did. But this workbench project is not, this is not a particle workbench project. There's this, that's a separate firmware project that I don't have open right now. I mean, but yes, I could, but I don't have this workspace configured for that. Kappa. I welcome the trolling. Bring it on. I appreciate it. I am happy to be trolled. Here, let's just do, let me see what client state is. This maybe needs to be a string. Let's do it anyway. You know, what's funny is sometimes you actually, like doing the kind of stuff that I do for Particle, you develop habits very early on that as we release new products or as we do new things, it's hard for those habits to go away. Like, for instance, a lot of the stuff that I do on the console because those are just the habits that I've built over the years. It's actually kind of funny. I mean, you could do the same thing via the CLI, but I just get into the habit of, I like seeing the publish messages to make sure that I'm getting things in the right states, but yeah. All right. Picture. Oh, it's an enum. All right, well, at least I know it's getting there, but I think the enum client state is disabled here. Which is fine, because that's what I want. Oh yeah, I actually do want my client state to equal disabled. And then send the message. Robert Tables, I do the same thing with AWS. I could CLI, SDK, Terraform everything, but I want to visually verify certain things. Oh yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of which, Robert Tables, how was that AWS event in Chicago last week? It looks like you looks like it was a good time. Definitely following your tweet stream, it sounded like there was a lot of good stuff there. Let me go back into capture state. What is that gonna, what does it capture that one as? Error! Okay, good. Well, yeah, it's good. We're happy about that. Aha, Klein front, I like that. It was really AWSM. I learned some new things, saw some really fun talks. That IoT serverless barbecue smoker talk was quite impressive. See, that's an interesting... I'm curious, do they have those slides posted online? And yeah, Klein front, exactly. Rather an error than nothing, absolutely. And this error is probably a good reminder for Brandon. I got a hard time last week for speaking about myself in third person, so I'm going to do it again. No, it's time for me to take a bio break. I need to refill on water, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. So, and then we'll fix this bug. So, BRB, 2 minutes. Okay, so a few things. I'm so happy to see that the light wall, the watt wall is actually working now and receiving multiple commands instead of crapping out. However, Kleinfreund, I think you just pushed the edge of its functionality. Oh, Surly Dev, you want the lights back on? Okay, I'll put the lights back on for a minute while I catch up on chat. And you can maybe see the very edge of my messy desk. Lights, lights, lights. Okay, all right. Y'all have lights. Kleinfreund, HSL. What's funny is that it accepted the command, so now I got to figure out what you did. That's actually pretty funny. Okay, we go back. Robert Tables, replicate the setup with even just the particle photon. I bet you could. I bet you absolutely could. And a like high. So that Type K thermocouple that I used for the Brew Buddy, those would probably work really well for a barbecue smoker as well. That would be kind of a fun thing to do. I actually have a little thing, a probe that I use called a meter, MEATER probe that has an iPad app and everything. It was a gift. I use that when I run the smoker. And it's nice, but it's a Bluetooth only device, which means I have to have an iPad that sits out close to the smoker so that I can monitor it from elsewhere in the house. It's kind of dumb. But I could totally, particle enable that whole thing and it would be fine. Okay. And you're looking for the slides? Cool. Yeah, because I'd love to see what they did. It'd be fun. Okay. All right. We got some chase commands. Did y'all break it now? Orange, cornflower, blue, salmon. All right, if y'all want to keep doing that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn my desk camera on, but I will have a small version of the wall behind me. So y'all can keep on doing that, because now that the chase command actually works. I love this. And somebody broke it. Snot green. As soon as I turn it on, it stops working. Okay, now it's working. Oh, you turned them off, Surly Dev. I got you. Okay. All right. I gotta go back. Let's see between all of these. The coolest part is that the airflow is controlled by a used CPU fan. Okay, so that's really cool, Robert Tables. I like that. Yeah, so Kleinfreund named colors work. That was all .commie's idea. But I think you discovered the edge case. HSL commands, HSL color parameters don't work. But I gotta add that. Chase police. Frackberg, there is no cop mode on these lights. Not like on Clarkio's stream. Yeah, no, Surly Dev. Yeah, set it to black. Did I just get an error from the bot? Let me check the bot. Let's see what it says. Oh, now there was a timeout on the police mode call. How did that work? Well, .commie, we did get it to stop crashing, and then you came back and asked about it, and now it crashed again. You're right, Robert Tables. That's a good idea. You could do a cool police chase effect. I like that idea, and that's a good. All right, y'all are making me make notes, so I got to do notes. What we learn, ideas. This is gonna be. Let's see, bot needs to take HSL colors. But .commie, new version of the Particle Device OS firmware got the Argon actually responding well to multiple commands. So now it actually behaves properly, does its thing. Yeah, I like that. One's a solid color and one behind it is flashing blue-red. I like that. Bot needs a police. Solid. See if I can get it. Okay. It's back online. The bot is back. The lights are back. All right, now let's fix this bug. Let's fix this other bug. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Index out of range. Error while processing WebSocket request. All right, I gotta see what tweet. What did Robert Tables say on? What did he tweet that I missed? Index out of range. Well, that's not good. So client state is disabled. Why is client state disabled in that case, though? All right, I got a proto buffer issue. Oh, key error. There we go. Sometimes it's a matter of finding what's the real error that's being passed along. And in this case, all right. All right, I'm clicking on this. I'm gonna do it in another tab so I don't dox Robert Tables if it's something that he don't want people to see. I mean, you know, Robert Tables, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, man. I don't pay much attention to those events anymore until after they're over, because it's just gotten to that point for me. Oh, I know you're not wrong, and I say that as an Apple fanboy as well. Thanks for attending my TED Talk on the demise of Apple excitement. That's right. All right, I got a key error, so that's okay. Key error, detection result. So this is happening in get field by name. All right, see where this is being called. All right, so take that out. So this is what I want to send. So send detection result. So we've gotten here, and let's do self queue detection results where we need to go now. Just make sure I'm not spelling anything incorrectly here. So this is an area where the protocol buffer stuff is still relatively new to me, so I'm trying to get it right. Client front. Every year, a designer artist I follow posts a GIF of Tim Cook spitting out gold coins. Oh, that's great. Oh, I couldn't see because of the chat overlay, but are you passing a third argument where that's being called? This is what I'm doing to queue the detection result. So path, detection result message. So I'm just following the thread here. So I'm spinning up a new version of the message, detection result message. And then this is all coming from the protocol buffer compiler, which generates Python helper files that have the stuff that I need. And that's actually in here, messages pb2. So if I open up this file, this is a generated file. It says do not edit. But there is a, oh, what did I just do? Editing it. No. This is my field detection result. I mean, y'all see, am I misspelling this in here somewhere? Client friend, right? Do not edit. First thing he does is edit the file. Yeah. It's right there. That's what I want. Oh! Idiot. I think oh, see, this is, okay, naming things is hard, y'all. Y'all know naming things is hard. Because I actually named it where the fields, the detection result is the name of the object, and emotion result is the name of the field. Yeah, so that's like a super heck moment for me. Right? This is real development. This is like I'm an idiot. Yeah, like I really need to get my second emote to be the blue brick because this feels like a brick moment. Or this is definitely one of those it's definitely one of those sort of table flip moments for me. Oh, Stream Deck. This is such a punk. Yeah. Keep that around for just those moments. Thing is, one can spend hours on bugs like these, Client Friend. You're absolutely right. And I have. So what's funny is this is what I get when I like 10 minutes between like kids are getting ready for bed and I'm about to like read them stories for bedtime. It's like, let me just sit down at my computer and try to work on this protobuffer thing for like 10 minutes. And I'll code a few things, but I don't have time to test it until now. So invariably, that's what's going to happen. Should you go into development? Well, do you like staring problems right in the face and not even seeing them? Do you like being confused by telling a computer exactly what to do? And it does that, and you're surprised. If so, you may love development. Fetish Lace, you're right. Without confusion and bugs, it would be way too easy. And we don't do this because it's easy, right? We do it because it's fun or something. So let's change all of these to emotion result. So let's go around, clean these up. That's what we want, emotion result. And see if that's actually our issue. I mean, it very easily could be something else. But I think we got it now. So let's restart server. Oh, not that server. Not you. MDT. Just keep booting me out of the shell. Serial. Okay. Just staring down a bug, that's right. Robert Tables, the difficult we do it once, the impossible just takes some more time. I like that. That's a really good quote. I like that a lot. That individual is very intelligent. Back into idle state, back into CAPTCHA. Client Frying, I certainly didn't start for this reason, but seeing now that I got my first job, how much developers are paid, it's quite easy compared to a lot of jobs. Yeah, that's very true. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, even in these moments, it's a lot of fun because I'll tell you this right now, like that sucked. But if it works now, I'm going to be like really excited. I will feel vindicated and happy. So let's grab a photo and see if I will be happy to smile. Another error. Well, it's a different error, so that's good. Where are we now? Send message. Okay, so this is where we were. Okay, so this is where we were, and then in queue detection result. Let's see what it says now. Now what it's saying is, where are we? From field client bound.overlay. Expected overlay got detection result. Yeah. Okay, so this is line 59 on server pi. So I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, overlay. Type error. Hey, that one was easier to find. We're so close, y'all. So close. Let's try another one. All right, I believe it. What's going to happen now? Right. We got something. The message was sent. Now the question is, did the client actually get it? That's the next piece. So I'm pretty happy. On the server side, we appear to be actually sending the message, right? I'm going to trust that that's actually happening. Thank you for the high five, Client Friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, it did just what I asked it to do and expected different results. Programming is truly wild. Kapow! Thank you, .com. It's early dev. The quote I heard was the impossible we can do it once. Miracles take a little longer. I like that one too. Also good. It's another good one. So now my WebSocket client, this is the fun part, right? Making sure that we can actually, because we need to then parse this message to decode the message, right? So here. Oh, we have the message. We have client bound already, right? So I'm gonna see if I can log this out. Oh, it's not got a JSON object. But is it decoded as a JSON object? What does it do? I'll just see what we get. Open up the dev tools. Client Freund. Oh, JavaScript. Now we're talking. That's right. I feel the same way, Client Freund, back in the safe confines of JavaScript. Assuming I got all that socket stuff to work, the rest of the stream should just be the familiar confines of JavaScript. And this hack together Vue.js based, not Vue, Vue. Vue.js based application I'm working on. So we'll see how that goes. So now I want to get my message here logged out. See verbose. Oh, silly. All right. Go back into capture mode. And I should get a console log here in a moment when I grab the photo. Make sure the photo actually gets taken. Capture frame, sent. Nothing. But you know what though? I'm not getting... I'm not getting any console messages here. Oh, nice, Client Freund. That's awesome. So I've been doing web development for almost my entire career, but I have spent most of the year before last working in React, the year before that. In the last year or so, I've been doing stuff mostly in Vue when I do web development. And it's fun. I actually enjoy it. I'm not a pro, and what you'll notice in this app is this is not, if I were to start a Vue app from scratch, this is not what it would look like. I'm taking, again, this was an existing demo that was running on the Coral in Google's image, and I've just modified it bit by bit to make it suit my purposes. So it's a bit of a hack together. Like a lot of this, all this WebSocket stuff, most of this was here already. So I'm not getting a window. I wonder if I should actually do a window console log. Shouldn't really make a difference. Socket connected. So I am getting messages there. Oh, I'm getting that too. All right, so the window doesn't matter. Maybe I just had the wrong tab open. When a message comes in, let me console log out the message. I don't know about WebSockets. I guess there aren't any requests in the network tab that would help there. Oh, Client Freund, you know what? I think you're absolutely right, Client Freund. I think that may be a good place to look. I should be getting... Yeah, do we get WebSocket messages from the... You view WebSockets in the network tab? Wrong tab, one of the classic blunders, right? Let's see what we got here. Just XHR. All right, hold on. I gotta stop this. Oh, thank you, Fetish Lace. Yes, WebSockets. Thanks. I didn't even see that. Yeah, but this is going to be server. This is like server to client WebSockets only, right? It's not actually going to show me anything that happens on the. Let's try going back into capture state and grabbing another photo. Okay. Messages. Messages. Yeah, great. Thanks for the binary. Hoyatus, hey, how are you? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. The question is that a huge breadboard behind me? It's a pegboard. It's a pegboard with a bunch of reverse mounted NeoPixel strips. I am intending on putting more things on the pegboard, but for the moment, it just is an empty pegboard with NeoPixel strips. So the strips make it interesting and exciting. So the problem, Kleinfreund, is that all of the frames being captured by the webcam are streaming down. So there's a whole lot of binary gobbledygook here that's making it really hard for me to differentiate anything else. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to close the network tab. Oi. Oi. Because that's going to be tougher to, right? Like every single video frame and overlay are getting pulled in and then being written to the canvas object. And so that's what all that binary, sort of binary stuff is. Necrodancer music. What is that, Kleinfreund? Oh, from a game? I don't know that I've played that one. So the result should be detection result. But let me go back to, oh here, let's just go back to having this in here. And we'll go back into capture mode. So we're gonna see just a whole lot of like videos, overlay, video, overlay, video, overlay. I'll grab a photo. And nada. Did not come across. So we are not getting the message. We are not getting the message. Go figure. Oh, Crypt of the Necrodancer. Okay, and I've heard of that. I've heard of that game. Now that you mention it, I have not played it. Okay. We gotta go back to Python because something is not working. Something is not being sent correctly. Such a bummer. Is there... So the question... Here, I'll tell you what I want to do. I'm going to spit out... I'm wondering if maybe there's an issue on the protocol buffer side that it's not decoding the message because it doesn't... Like there's something that I didn't do to actually let it know. what the message looks like, you know? Because I did that on the server side, right? I had to come in here and actually recompile. Let me just look at this real quick. Okay, self queue message. Yeah. So the question is where the, so we're getting to the queue message part, but maybe it's not actually being sent. So return self queue message. No, it's different. This is gonna get really chatty, but I want to see what happens. I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of gobbledygook across the screen. So much so that it can't even keep up. So, never mind that terrible idea. I can't even... Ah! I can't even break. Hey, y'all want to look like a hacker? Yeah, look at me. I'm typing all this stuff. Okay. Yeah, exactly, client friend. That was all me. So, let's never do that again. Never, ever do that again. Welcome to the Matrix. Let's, okay. Let's see if that drop is happening right after I capture an image. Right, to look like a hacker, you need the text scrolling down your face. Right. All right. Okay, so there are no drop frame messages here. I'm wondering though, let's just take this out. Yeah, let's do that. Why would the client state be disabled? So maybe that's my issue here. Let me try this and see if it gets fired that time. Yeah, client point. So that's what I was wondering. That's part of the demo code that was already here. And so I'm wondering if what's actually happening is the client's getting disabled when I capture a photo. And that's causing the message to not be sent? I don't know. So the WebSocket is being closed somewhere. Am I doing that? I mean, the socket is not closed because I'm still getting frames. So what's happening here? Maybe I'm doing that. Maybe I'm doing that on the serial side. Maybe I'm actually causing this problem. One thing that I didn't open up specifically was the actual serial communication between my server, or between the Argon, the particle device, and the buttons, basically, is that when I say capture image, I'm doing all this, creating a connection to the streaming endpoint, sending a capture command, sending the message, sending a response back to the Argon, and then closing the WebSocket. But that's the socket between. It shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter, right? Let me turn that piece off. Let me go back into capture a photo. Okay, so at that time the socket was not closed. Cheese is right. Yeah, at one point there's an image saved and then the WebSocket is closed. But the WebSocket, I think, was being closed on the serial side. Yeah, it stayed open because so client friend, I took this out. So what was happening is the socket connection was being closed. And maybe that was affecting the whole thing. The socket was being closed on the serial side, and this is just the serial server that runs between the Argon. Here, let me turn this back on. This is the UART connection that runs between these two. That's all. That's the serial piece. But I just commented this piece out, and I think... No, Robert Tables, the serial, this serial Pi server is running on the Coral. It's running on the Coral. And just facilitating a serial connection between the argon, the particle argon, and the Coral board. But it's using a WebSocket on the server side, on the Coral side, to communicate with the socket server that's running the streaming server. Basically, the socket server is my streaming server that's capturing the webcam, that's piping all that down and doing all the processing work. So on line 32, I do create a new socket connection, and then I close it. And so I thought that was a separate socket. That's why I didn't think that it was as much of an issue, but it doesn't seem to really have any, doesn't seem to make any difference, right? Because then I can, motion inference was right. If I go back and I click trigger capture again, will it get that? Will the serial connection still be good? Socket open, sending capture command, sending response to controller. So can we somehow verify if there are two socket connections at the point where you save the image? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm going to take this out for now. So we're not seeing this message now, which I suppose is good. Let me see if... Let me add a default here. And see if maybe the issue is as simple as me just missing something. Yeah, Klein friend, I don't think that actually closing the socket is the issue. I need the image for the next step, yeah, but right now I just want to get the message. If I don't have the image, I need the image path. I mean, I don't know that saving the image is what's causing it. But I'm gonna go back to that in just a second. Let me try this real quick and see if maybe there's just another message that I'm missing that's not coming through. All right, I'm gonna go back into capture state. See, I don't think any... Nothing is happening. And what I mean by that, so let me go back, let me walk through the code. This is a good time to like walk through what it is that I'm actually doing. Let's talk through it together. And then it's time for another bio break. So where this process is starting is there's a command that comes in from the client, which is to capture a frame. I'm telling the camera to get a single frame from the streaming server. It gets one frame. And then it takes that captured frame and it actually copies it into a couple of different locations. It copies it into a folder for the cloud-based API call, for the Azure call, and it copies it into a folder for the local call. Then it calls the detector to actually get a face dictionary. The face dictionary is the bounding box and then the emotions, the emotion piece. And then at this point, I'm actually going to create a modified version, or a modified file is created. And then I'm moving that file into this assets path folder, which is where which is actually where the HTML, like the web UI piece is. So the web UI piece is actually what, well here, all those images get saved like right here. In this folder, emotion files, right? That's all these files. And I need to delete them, clean them up later. But for now, they're all getting saved right there. And then what I'm sending back, so then this is where I'm sending in the WebSocket message. I'm sending in the file and then the face dictionary. So if I go into send detection result, that's this, right? I know, okay. Here, let's write them both out. All right, so we're back in capture state. Let's grab a photo. Okay, so these are the two things that are getting sent. The path and then the string. This array represented as a string. The things that we already knew that we had. So this is send detection result, and then client front queue detection result is the actual work of sending the socket message, right? Sorry, hold on. So that's just self queue message, and then it actually, this detection result message is the strongly typed protobuf object. That's the actual message that it then converts into a binary that it sends down the pipe through the socket. Right, so self.queue message happens here. No, sorry. This is self.queue message. Here, I know. Is there a way that we can actually check the type? So all right. So then basically what happens here, client front, is that we call tx_q.put. tx_q is a type of dropping queue. Where are we? Which is oh. Yeah, yeah, client friend. That's the generated code. Yeah. However, I wonder if let me try this replace last true business on mine. So it is something that's a little different, so it's worth seeing if it makes a difference. Yeah, dropped would log something if it contains something. It should, yeah. I mean, let me run this real quick and then it's going to be time for another bio break. All right. Oh, there's a good variety of emojis on that one. Cleanup complete. So that didn't make a difference. So, oh, let me find it. Oh, sorry. Client friend, this is basically just, this should only be telling me if the actual message was dropped. Like I should only get true here if the message itself was dropped, which we're not seeing that. So the message isn't getting dropped. It should just be returning false every time with Q message. But that's probably worth calling to make sure we get something specifically. But you know what? That's probably a good place to see like, okay, what actually happens here. So let me go to Q detection result, which is just returning that message. And then let's try this. So let's output this, and then bio break, and then bio break. All right, capture. Oh, God. Python. Yes, yes, I know. happens if I put something in front of my face? See, all right, so yeah, so dropped false. So it didn't drop the frame. It actually was able to deliver the message. It's just not being received on the client side. But why? Oh my gosh, that's cool, client front. Apparently they dug out an extremely well-preserved horse that's 5,300 years old. That's pretty cool. All right, and on that note, bio break number 2, and then we'll come back and take a look at the client side and see if that's actually what's going on. So, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Be right back. Nah. So, dead horse, let's do a bio break. That's right. So, all right, so that's a good, yes, 7 devices online. Interestingly enough, we actually had the engineering team recently reworked the way that online device statuses reported so that they were more accurate. If a device hadn't checked in a while, it used to be assumed that it was still online. And now it's actually a little bit more accurate in what it is actually reporting. So I do only have 7 devices online, which I think is true. When I look around the office. Yeah, interesting. I had totally forgotten about that. Okay. So my challenge right now is that I actually want to see what's streaming through the client without logging everything. Because I think, you know what I could do? Something's just, I feel like it's just not getting decoded, you know? I feel like I'm getting it, but it's either, I'm gonna log this. If this doesn't work, then we'll look into just not sending across the streaming stuff. And then I can look back at the WebSocket tab in the DevTools and see what comes across. Because from everything that we saw on the socket server side, the messages are being sent. Yeah. That's a good idea, Fetish Lace, and actually adding a socket on air as well. Yes, let's do that also. Great idea, Fetish Lace. So let's do that too. Yeah. That would be really funny. If this yields an extremely descriptive error message, then that's peak programming. Yeah, you're right about that. Kleinfreund, what I want, select a thing, event, hit button to paste on the next line, console log, event. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. I would take that. All right, let's refresh here. Okay. Just take a look at one of these. I mean, it's an array buffer, so there's not really anything I can do to determine what it... Yeah, so it's going to give me a whole lot of this gobbledygook. Let's take that out for now. FYI, you don't need to add a space after the colon. It'll add a space using the... Really? Kleinfreund? I did not know that. Thank you. You saved me a whole lot of keystrokes, my friend. That's great. Not that. All right. Go back into capture mode. Well, you save me one keystroke for every single time that I do that, which is a lot. I do a lot of console logging. One keystroke over the course of my entire life. I'm going to add up. Savior of keystrokes. Put that on your CV for sure. All right. We'll grab an image. See if we get an error. Drop false, no error on this side. That's right, Ronan. Yeah, I got console log. What did debug for? All right. Did I try doing this already? I think what I was going to do here. So console, actually log out the client bound message. Because this is something I didn't check into. So this should... Okay. It's there. So detection result is there. With the message type. Well, y'all, I'm not really, I mean, this is, no, y'all, this is actually not a thing. Unfortunately, all that I'm seeing here is that the client bound knows how to decode that message properly. So the detection results field is there, but I'm not getting anything. I'm not seeing the actual result come in from the socket server yet. But this is good. It is there. I wish it was a triumph. I feel like that's still very close ahead though. You see, I see it. Okay, the name here, detection result. And maybe I'm just... Detection result. It is a start. You're right. Ah, Ronan, that's funny. So fields, image path, emotion result, they're here. All right. So that's fine. So client bound knows what to do. The client object, oh wait, where'd it go? This is fine. And we're not getting an error, nor is the socket being closed. Like the last message that gets passed in is what is this? First frame decoded on line 16. First frame decoded. That's the last thing that we get. Oh wait, client Freud, hold on, let me look. Oh, the others are lowercase too? Okay. Yeah, so that's the instance name as opposed to the object name. I think that's the way it works in protocol buffers. No, thanks, Robert Tables. I appreciate it. No worries. Client calls important. I have a few of those starting here in 45 minutes. So if I don't fix this, we're gonna make it happen, y'all. We have to make it happen. The problem, oh man. All right, y'all, here's what I want to do. I think I'm going to turn off. Thank you, Michael Jolly. I appreciate that. I need somebody to believe in me right now. Because, y'all, what I thought I might try to do... I know, Ronan, you're right. I can always come back to it, but I want us to fix it together. I'm not going to do anything dumb. Maybe. What I am going to do, however... is I'm going to comment out... Yeah, I'm gonna comment out the queue overlay line so that we'd get less gobbledygook coming from the thread. Right, and then on the client side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start logging all of the messages that come in. Oh, what did I do? 467. Oh, yeah. Tagline of my life. I'm not gonna do anything dumb, maybe. Right? So I'm not alone. Getting a whole lot of video messages. No, I feel like I'm debugging in the wrong spot though. Because this is not, I mean... Because the reality is that, all right, let me think this through real quick. This logging isn't really doing anything for us. Because we know messages are coming in, and I have a default to catch anything. So I think what's ultimately happening is that the message is not coming in. So there's still an issue on the message sending side, somehow. Ugh. All right, this is ticking me off. So even if I had an issue here with how this was spelled, I would still get a message here. And we're getting other messages. Console, we get starting, started, it's all here. So what was your question earlier, Kleinfreud? Where's this client state getting set? And I wonder if we're actually disabling this somehow without realizing it. Sounds plausible that the message just isn't coming through. Hey, Professor Strawberry, no question. Good question. Or no problem. Good question. I just want to follow along. Hope I don't distract too much. You have a server, client connection, and when you press the button, the server is taking a picture and processing it. Yes, Professor Strawberry, that's exactly right. That's how it's working. So what we're trying to figure out now is I'm trying to send a result that has the URL to the picture and a machine learning model and an inference result back to the client. And that's the piece through WebSockets. And that's the piece that seems to be messed up right now. But you removed the condition that checks for client state anyway, haven't you? Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're right. You're right, client Freund. Yes. Professor Strawberry, the client doesn't ask for the file yet, but the socket connection is open, so it should be awaiting one. What we're doing here. Let me go back up to it. Is we're actually calling the client and a send detection result. You know what? Maybe we're calling this on the wrong thing. Because what's the client object? Because look at this. We're processing the command, and we have a list of clients. But the client is getting passed in, so that shouldn't. Oh, y'all. Y'all. Everybody. The client that has triggered this capture is the serial connection between the Argon and the Coral, not the web client. So when I call client dot send detection result, I'm sending that back.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I'm sending it back to the serial monitor. The poop emoji is right, Kleinfreund. Babin, hey. You tuned in at the right. Yes, F is right, Ronan 52. Professor Strawberry, you got it. So, Babin, yeah, you tuned in at the right time because I just realized what dumb thing that I was doing. Oh my gosh. I'm sending it back to the wrong client. This is the absolute source of all my problems. However, I have a list. I have an enumeration of enabled clients. So I can get from the list of clients the right client to know which one to actually send it to. So this is not an insurmountable problem. But I think this is absolutely it, y'all. So what I need to do from here is with my enabled clients, right? So let me make a note for myself. Use self-enabled clients to send. And I can just enumerate over all of them and send it to all of them, but maybe we could be smart about it and figure out the right one. A message to the web UI, to the web client. Because I have a web client and I have the serial client. Man. Hey, this feels pretty good though. Even though we haven't fixed it yet, this knowledge, this realization in and of itself feels worthwhile, doesn't it? It feels pretty good to be closer. But let me take a look at where where the enabled clients collection is. Like where it's being defined. Okay, it's just an atomic set. And the atomic set, that's a Python thing, right? Maybe? No, it's this class. Okay. But it's an iterable class. Programming, right? We were debugging and adding logging statements. Yep. You're right, ClientFriend. The client's like, I don't understand. Everything's working. I don't understand what you're doing. Like if I actually did a WebSocket receive here in serial, that would be exactly what. And this, I need to go back in and do that because I do want to close that socket connection. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out. Okay, so all I'm doing is setting, okay. All right, it doesn't look like I have any way of knowing like, well, where's the client? There's a client class in here too. Let me look at the outline. Oh, come on. Does it really, Professor Strawberry? Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. I wonder why that is. Yeah, it does have a slightly... Here. Okay, so here's my client. Aha! See? Hey, ClientFriend. Remember when we were like client state disabled and wondering like how come that wasn't firing? It was because the WebSocket closed the serial monitor, closed the socket connection. Of course it did. Because that was the correct behavior. Yeah, Professor Strawberry, what ClientFriend said. Something, something physics refraction. Absolutely. Professor Strawberry, oh yeah, that's right. Has it been that long, really? That was a power issue. So actually jumper wires had come loose and I needed to unloose them. I needed to like plug stuff back in correctly. Yep. I said that for y'all's benefit. Unloose. I had to plug them back in. That's all. So I'm actually going to, I'll add this later. I'm So I want my clients. So let's just be lazy. I'm gonna be lazy because I really want to get this working. So I'm gonna do for. I can't call it client. CLN teacher. It was a test. It wasn't a test. I just figured y'all would call me on it. That's all. And I appreciate that y'all called me on it. Is that right? Is that Pythonic? Is that the Python thing to do for in iterable? I thought I saw that the other day. Something I was messing with. Python iterators, W3 schools, really? Really? I know, well, let's learn this one together. It is an iterator object. I just want the right syntax so I don't restart this and have to mess with it. Okay, that's cool. How long is this page going to take to load? Oh, it's after all the ads are done. Good God. Oh, just use the for loop? Well, I kept my true feelings about W3 schools inside. Really? Yeah. So in this case, I want to do just a CL dot send detection result to each of those. Hey, BS Claro, how you doing? Happy Monday, man. Let's try running this again. We might be actually close to getting something working, BS Claro. Maybe. Those local ads. That's right. Professor Strawberry, I do use Dark Reader, just not for everything. Like for the particle console. I'm not even sure what the console looks like in Dark Reader. Let's try it. If it opens. Ooh. That's not bad. But it also is messing up my green screen, so I'm not going to keep it on right now. No, that's not too bad at all. I have to switch back to that. Alright. Why are you dropping messages so fast? Why is it all of a sudden going really slow? I just needed to catch up. I would expect this works for CL and self-enabled clients. Oh, client frame could be right. Let me try this and see what happens. It's gonna blow up on me, I'm sure. Yeah, iterable is not defined. Okay, so I did it wrong. So for CL in iterable enable, yeah, CL enable clients. I think you're probably right, client frame. So let's do that. Running table highlighting in Dark Reader, really? It was not good last time you tried it. Alright, let's trigger capture mode again. And take a photo of my face. Ah! Do y'all see that? I hit my mic. Oh, hopefully that. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Look at this. A quadruple kapow.com. I think that may be the first one of these we've ever gotten. Look at that, y'all. And it's the right one. Thank you. Kleinfreund, thank you so much. Already I'm jammed. My camera, which camera has issues? My main one or this one up here? Are you getting like a lag? Yeah, sending it to all the clients. I'm gonna have to fix that later, but at least this one. Ah, right. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, that was so easy, Kleinfreund, right? It only took us 2 hours and 36 minutes in order to get that right. Restingdevface.com. That's right. What did it say anyway? Contempt? Contempt, fear, surprise? Like, what was the actual result here? 11% contempt. I had gotten to that point after 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that contempt. 83% neutral though, but 11% contempt. That's exactly right. RDM Jam, I'm sorry to hear that. Are y'all having Eve Lardiez? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but thanks so much for the follow. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the for jumping in, for following, for hanging out today. And RDM Jam, I'm not sure, honestly. Is anybody else seeing a lag from my... Not this camera above, not this one. Where is he reaching to? That's not creepy at all. But is anybody seeing a lag from me? I've had issues that took like 2 weeks to figure out. A few hours is pretty good. Grogard for sure. I have too. That's not bad at all. And not only that, but it was only like it was only like coming to the realization that caused... I mean, once we actually figured out what the issue was, it was actually not too hard to fix. It was just a matter of getting to the root cause of the problem itself. Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine. Socket timeout. I think it just got behind. I'm okay with that. Poke myself again. Hey, wake up, dude. Hey, buddy. Up there, wake up. Wake up. Come on, dude. He's not waking up. I think I may have crashed the coral, actually. You're seeing just a normal stream delay? Hey, Steampunk Devil, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I may have to reboot this thing. He's concentrating, and he just... I totally borked it this time. I'm rebooting. Y'all chill. Hang just a sec. I may have put the coral through too many paces today. Hey, Steampunk Devil. Did I say hi already? I'm sorry. I'm still like... feeling the good vibes here. Okay, now I'm in. It's back online. Let me open my serial connection back up. There is a lag after all, right? Cool. All right. I'd say hi twice. I just want to make sure I didn't miss you. Thanks for coming in. My code caused a meltdown. I know. You know what? I mean, I don't know if you meant that as a joke, Professor Strawberry, but frankly, that could actually be an issue if I'm just going to like I mean, there should only be 2 enabled clients, so this shouldn't be an issue. And it's only happening once after each capture, but I do need to watch out for that. For sure. All right, let me open up the serial connection again and open up my streaming server. More Necro Dancer music. Well, I like it. I'm digging it. Me joking, never. All right, let me see if I drop a bunch of frames now. All right, hey. All right, there we go. There definitely is a lag between my video. Oh, now it's fine. Trippy. All right. This should still be fine. Oh, did that come back online too? Huh. An idle state. Here. I'm in capture state. Okay, so now let's try something. You want anger? Let's do, or what are my options? What are my available options for emotions? Yeah, I'll go. Let's do anger. See if we can get that one. Ah, we're still getting that result. Feels so good. What do we have this time? 93% anger. This is my image. So I've got an image path, I've got an emotion result. This is good stuff. Oh, and the socket. RDM Jam, how many emotions are there? Right now, it captures one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 different ones. Sadness, neutral, anger, disgust, happiness, fear, surprise, and contempt. And neutral, I would say, is the whole, is like the I don't know. You know, the I don't know option for the model. It's not a bad list. But y'all notice this? The socket, the connection got... Oh, but this is actually my SSH connection that got killed. But is it? Oh, ooh. So this may legitimately have introduced another problem. Contempt and disgust must be hard. Yeah, Artyom, that's a good point. I should actually try to put those all through their paces and see if I can replicate them with reliability. Because those are probably hard faces to make. All right, so here, let me try my contempt face. Does that look like contempt, y'all? And now let me try my disgust face. Did those, like, I should try those with this thing and see what I get. And Artyom Jam, thanks so much for the follow after I showed you how I convey contempt and disgust. Or maybe you did before I did that. Klein Freund, I don't know if I have that many emotions either. It's hard. Yeah, and the eyes, Artyom, I think you're right, Artyom Jam. The eyes are similar in both emotions, so it's kind of hard to imagine how you would... Point 2, disgust. Klein Freund, yeah. And Professor Stryber, yes, there was a socket clothesline, but it was on the serial side. Here. So, you know what? Let me come back in, because that may be what's doing it. Because I don't want to send the message to my serial client, which would have the client state disabled after I set, oh, come on. Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. Yes, you know for a fact that you have at least 7 emotions at the same time sometimes, definitely. RDM Jam, developer and actor. Girl Guard, the nose gives it away. I mean, this is actually one of the cool things about machine learning, honestly, is when things are, when you have a model that's like well tuned, it actually can detect, especially these convolutional neural network models do a really good job of identifying features that differentiate between the output set, in this case, emotions. They do a really good job discerning between features that we may not be able to see explicitly, or we may not even be aware of. And it can detect those, which is kind of cool. All right, hold on. I need to reestablish my SSH file system connection here. Okay, now let me save the file. So what I just added was this self to check if the individual, because I'm trying to send this to just every client, but I already closed a connection to that client, and that's probably what's doing it. Is that because I re-enabled this socket close, which is the right thing to do here on the serial side, and then I'm trying to send a message to that client, probably not a good idea. I want to send it to the web server, but I don't want to send it to the serial monitor because it's not an important piece of this, or it's not something that I care to manage. So that was probably my issue. So let's log back in there. Open the serial monitor back up, and let's start the server. Okay. Trigger capture mode again. Hey, buddy, wake up. There we go. All right, this time I want to get a result and have the whole thing not crash on me 30 seconds later. So, fingers crossed. Oh yes, let's try contempt. Is this contempt? This is gonna be the contempt face, right? Did it see it? Neutral. It read that as neutral. 0.001 contempt. More sadness than contempt. Oh, and just as much happiness as contempt. This model has to be tuned. Let me tell y'all. Okay, now let me see. All right, so what I was getting before was the whole thing was just crapping out on me. Okay, socket closed. Ronan, I think your model is very pessimistic. Yes, it is. The model's a pessimist. It needs to be improved. The model needs tuning for sure. Babin. That's really funny. That's really funny, Babbitt. A glass half empty model. Surly Dev, you're right. Okay, so now I'm in a response state, and I'm going to say, no, this was wrong. You were absolutely wrong, model. So, boom. Motion inference was wrong. Try that later. Surly Dev, did you know your genes determine your optimism in life to over 50%? Really? I think, however, that's interesting. I think we're in good shape with that fix, though, because we're not trying to send a message. We're not getting any crashes. Everything's still running. I'm a little bit behind on the stream, I think it's like it's catching up. So let's try to run 2 of these in a row and see what happens. So back in capture state, let me really try contempt now. I don't even know how to do it. This is like the Chandler Bing smile problem all over again. All right, let's try one. Let me get a little closer and try a really good contempt one. Let me imagine contempt. Let me think of someone that I have a lot of contempt for. That doesn't feel very good. I don't feel like I did a very good job with that. I only got 1% contempt on that one. Shoot more for disappointed. Yeah, that's probably true. I did get another result though, so that's good. All right, wrong. Let's try one more. Now we're just messing around. But that's okay because this is a good way to end the stream. We got this actually working. We're back in capture state. And let it catch up. All right, shoot more for disappointment. All right, I'm gonna try this run. That's gonna show up as, that won't be contempt. I'm trying to like look at my face and you know, I'm just gonna try disgust. I feel like I can replicate that emotion more. Like I just walked into the bathroom and one of my kids didn't flush the toilet for like the 1000th time. Did it capture disgust? No. 90% neutral. TMI, I'm sorry, Ronan. Sorry, y'all. That probably was TMI. It definitely was. Okay. All right. Enough of that. We can do more of that next time. This is great, though, because we have our result. So we can indeed stop messing with Python for a little while, except the stream is going to be over in 8 minutes. But that's okay. So the next piece is to actually update the state in our Vue.js app to set the capture mode to false and pass in this result image piece of state, right? I did get up to 0.02 contempt. I did. Oh, Frackberg. Yeah, I feel that exact same thing too. Oh no, Doc-Kami, did you clip that? I'll have to watch that later. Ronan. Maybe I need to take some improv classes before the next stream. I probably do. I could use that. So, all right, we only have a few minutes left, but I actually want to capture some notes before I get too far ahead. Talk through some things that we worked through today. We did actually get the implemented the server to client WebSocket call, and that was great. That was all we got done today. Because little did we know that was going to be a huge ordeal. But that's fine. That's great. Because that piece was very critical. Now that we have that piece working, the next step is going to be actually capture that result from here. No, we've got that result. And actually to do the Vue UI stuff to swap out the streaming image with, or swap out the streaming canvas with the image, and then show a pie chart or some nice little graphic of the different emotion results. Fetish lace, more acting glasses needed, the model can be fine. That's right. I don't need to tune the model, I need to tune my face. That's right. No model tuning needed. Yeah, I think that's why when you look at a lot of pre-trained models that are out there, there aren't a ton of emotion models. There's a lot of there's some good face, like MobileNet for object detection, MobileNet for face tracking. The face tracking piece isn't hard. That works really well. But when you add in discerning an emotion, the models get a whole lot less accurate. And like I mentioned earlier, and for anybody that was on, the accuracy that I was getting during training here was only 2/3 of the time right. It's only 66% at best in terms of it actually correctly predicting the training and the validation data in the model. So there's definitely more work to be done. And it's hard. It's a hard problem to solve for sure. 100% gassy, Michael Jolly. That's right. Huh. Michael Jolly's always good for a comment like that every once in a while. And I like that. I lurk on Michael Jolly's streams a lot too. Toss in some snide remarks every now and again. I think that's good. I feel like he expects this from me. So we got that piece done, which means there's going to be a whole lot of more fun that we can have next week, which is great. So we'll do more UI stuff on the next stream. And then we'll actually start doing some long-term capture stuff, because what I want to do ultimately is actually show, this is going to be sitting on the floor at NDC Oslo, and people are going to be interacting with it and messing with it, using it. And so I want to actually show the stats over time. Like the model is 2/3 correct, correct 66% of the time. What did we actually see when people were using it over the course of this 3-day conference? So that could be kind of fun. So we'll spend some time on that next week. 2 resubs today, I captured those. Yes, Frank Burger, Robert Tables. We learned from Ronan that I need to get the Mayo ban, so I'm gonna figure out how I can make that happen. We need to do some things to the bot. The bot is actually working way better in terms of doing the chase commands and everything, but it needs to accept HSL colors. Client Freund helped me figure that one out. So I'm gonna make a note of that. And then yes, the bot needs a police command. I think that's a really good idea. So I gotta work on that one. Hey, and the Michael Jolly triggered fire mode with the 100 bits. Thanks so much, Michael Jolly. That's very kind of you. That was awesome. I appreciate that. All right. So are there any, and I'm going to find somebody to raid. So y'all hang around for a few seconds and help me, make me some suggestions. I'm not sure who's online right now, if any of the other fellow live coders are online. So y'all let me know while I look at chat here real quick. Noticing the occasional, oh my God, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Babbitt. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you for the cheer. MichaelJolly.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all hanging out today. Oh yeah, Frank is streaming. Okay, let me see. Jep13. Come on. Y'all give me just a sec. I'm loading up. Frank B and Source Scoot. Raimu's on as well. Yeah, let's raid over to Source Scoot. I'm gonna go hang out on his stream for a little while. I'll be hanging with y'all. I thought I had a meeting right here now at 3. I don't, but I do have to fill out an expense report. So I'm gonna lurk and do that. That ought to be fun, right? Let's see if I can actually spell his name correctly. What is this, the Michael Jolly? You're not just watching me? You got multiple people going? Ugh. There he is. There's Source Scoop. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. Oh, that's the wrong person. Hold on. Sorry. Y'all, I am having some serious... There we go. We're going to raid Source Scoot here in a little bit. Hey, thanks, Ronan. I appreciate you making the suggestion. I will show you if I do something cool with it. I'll definitely share that with y'all. But thanks again, everybody. Y'all have a great rest of the day. I'll see you over on Source Scoot stream. Let's throw some hype in, hang out, say hello, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.